So long as like Alchemy.
Finally. Y'all see your boy standing up? I had to stand up for this one. Man, because we've been waiting all year, right? It finally happened last night down in Los Angeles. The debut of DeMarcus Cousins with the Warriors. What do you think, Al? How did he look? Ain't nobody gonna beat him. There's so many. Obviously, I think it went about as well as you could expect. And the two things that I wanted to look for and that I was most curious about were both defensively. Well, one is transition. So first off, I wanted to see how he got up and down the court. You consider the pace of the game in today's NBA, right? In these inflated stats, we're essentially in the juiced era of the NBA. And the pace has never been as fast. And so that was my concern. How is this big dude going to get up and down the court? And is there going to be a lot of possessions where he just stays in the backcourt and it's a 4-on-5 half-court set? So I was very impressed with his effort and his hustle. I will say there is going to be a honeymoon phase. You think he's really going to dog it his first game or even first few weeks back with this championship team? So we have to take that into account, right? There's a honeymoon phase. But I was impressed with his hustle and effort up and down the court after contesting shots, getting out and running. We saw him with the soft hands catch some outlet passes, right? But after that, I was also concerned defensively how he would look in pick and rolls. And Doc Rivers and the Clippers, rightfully so, tested him repeatedly with those pick and rolls and those switches. And he was dropping. He got, 2, 3 early fouls. He had 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes of the game and he had to sit down, right? And so, but with something that I maybe didn't realize watching him in Sacramento and New Orleans was exactly how high his IQ is and his timing, right? Because the size you can't teach. The intimidation, the bullying, that intimidation factor, that's kind of innate, something that he carries with him. But his timing and his IQ and understanding where to be and when to contest was very impressive. Now, that being said, we have to also acknowledge that the Clippers aren't exactly an opponent that's going to exploit him in the pick and roll. They don't have a lot of guys that are going to score off the pick and roll. You see him against a Dame Lillard, a Kemba Walker, a Kyrie coming up next Saturday, where they're going to pull the trigger super quick off that pick and roll. So he's not going to have as much time to diagnose what he needs to do defensively on those drops. And he will get exposed. He will. But more importantly, I don't think it was discouraging and it wasn't, the juice was worth the squeeze, if you will, right? Because on the other end, you saw them play 5 out sometimes. And essentially what you can see and you can expect moving forward is I don't know how many low post touches there will be. I think when he's in that second unit with Clay and sometimes Draymond, I think maybe they'll toss it to him in the post. And as he gets more comfortable and he gets his balance, his legs under him, you could tell that he was wobbly. And y'all know when you step out into a performance in any realm, right? Whether it's musical, sports, or, whatever it is, when you get those nerves, you get tired quicker in your legs. You get that kind of jello-y feeling in your legs because you're excited. So I'm sure he was feeling that along with just the conditioning. His stabilizing muscles and everything isn't there. So you saw him a little bit wobbly when he went ISO. But I'm more excited about the 5 out sets, the 4 out, 1 in sets that you see Milwaukee run with Brook Lopez, right? Because you saw him hit 3 threes, and it's going to be a pick your poison thing because I said this in my patron breakdown. It's like 15 minutes breaking down basically everything he did in this game. Y'all go check that out. But, he's not a shot maker. Make no mistake about it. Boogie's a shooter. And what I mean by that is if you leave him open, he'll continue to knock him down. It's not like streaky flukiness where like you look at Andre or Draymond where they'll knock shots down if they're feeling good. And Ig's been amazing, man. But he's still a shot maker. He's not a shooter. DeMarcus is a 7-foot shooter. And so it's going to be a pick your poison thing. And I think we're just going to see the spacing become a real issue for other teams when they have all those guys out there and they can play 5 and 4 out. So I'm excited about that. And then I also wanted to bring up the element of the bully factor, the intimidation factor, because in the past we'd seen Montrezl Harrell really just kind of punk us in the paint. You know what I'm saying? And when Zaza and David West left this year, or, West retired, Zaza's now in Detroit. But what we lost that maybe people don't realize is that intimidation factor in the paint, that physicality. It's not necessarily numbers or stats, but you need a guy. I'll relate it back to football since it's the playoffs now and everything. You know, you need that heavy hitter in the secondary that makes receivers think twice about going across the middle, right? And usually they have a screw loose, or, you know, there's just an intimidation factor that makes guys not so comfortable to leap up in the air on that slant route, right? And we've been missing that guy this year with West and Zaza gone. And, you know, DeMarcus brings that, right? Every night, just him being there and then being in the right spot, those hands, man. You know, Warrior Nation, Dub Nation, we can't help but be excited moving forward for this. All that being said, it was almost the perfect opponent. No one likes to score off the pick and roll. Heavily depleted. No Lou Williams, no Gallinari. Very impressed with the kid, Shai Gilchrist. I think that moving forward with the Clippers, you know, if it's going to be tough because we know the type of dude Ballmer is and that they want to make the playoffs this year, perhaps as part of their sales pitch to Kawhi and Durant. But at the same time, you saw with Gallinari and Lou off the court that it's going to accelerate that rookie's growth. And so it's a give and a take and a balance. If they fall out of playoff, contention, they need to keep the ball in this kid's hands moving forward. But you got the Lakers, Martin Luther King Day, and I'm not going to front. I think we're all disappointed LeBron's not playing, so that takes some of the luster out of it. But we'll get to see, you know, young Zubac, right? And that young Lakers second unit with Zubac, Svi, is it Svi? I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but the shooter, right? And you got Mo Wagner back, right? They're scrappy as hell, man. So I expect a good fight from the Lakers on a national televised game, but it would have definitely been more exciting if Bron was playing. I'll be back with the breakdown on that one. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.
I've been winning so long, it's like alchemy.